Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to cover some of the minor miscellaneous enhancements which have been added as part of AgilePoint NX 8.0 software update to release. So I'm in my demo environment right now. The first enhancement has been to the user profile page. So if you go to user profile, now if you have generated a QR code for using it with mobile apps, you can now download it and share it as well. So for example, if I click on share, provide the email ID of the person you want to share it with, click send. Now, if I switch back to the mailbox, I've received an email with the QR code forwarded to this email ID. Back in my AgilePoint portal, the next set of enhancements has been done in App Builder module. So I'm going to go to App Builder module over here. Now, one of the first things you will notice is that we show the release notes of the release once it has been applied. App designers are the ones who are supposed to know most about the changes which have been done to an environment when a new release has been deployed. So we have brought the release notes right within the app designer experience itself. They can see what has changed as soon as a new release is applied. They can always turn this off, or even if they have turned it off and if they wanted to check what's new, they can always bring this up. Next enhancement is around summary fields. So if I select an app which has summary fields, and if I go to summary fields, you can see now there is an option to import or export the configured summary fields from your dev environment to production environment. So all you have to do is click on this button. It gives you a JSON file which you can go to production and import it over here in the application in your production environment. Now the next enhancement is around placeholder activity. So I'm going to open another application over here. I'm going to go into the process model. Now, oftentimes what happens is during the initial discovery phase of an application, you might not have all the information. You might not know which system you are going to connect to, or even if you know which system you are going to connect to, you might not have enough information to configure that activity. However, you still want to create a model which visually depicts what kind of business logic would be there. So what we have done is now if you go to the common stencil, there is a new activity called placeholder activity. You can always drop it in your design as part of the process documentation or initial discovery. You can give it a name, and you can also put some configuration instructions over here. Now this is so that you can collaborate and come up with the design. Later on, a more technical user or maybe even citizen developer can come in and replace this activity. By reading the notes, they can put in the proper activity. Maybe it has to upload a file to SharePoint or upload or make a call to say a RESTful service. They can replace it with the proper configuration over here. Now any process model which has the placeholder activity, if you try to validate it, it will catch that kind of a change. So if you go over here and say, let's validate, you can say it tells me that there is a placeholder activity which must be removed or replaced before the app can be published. Now, if by any chance I might have still saved and checked in this file, and if I try to publish it, it shows me the same error message over here. So that is more for documentation initially, but before you take it to runtime, you have to still go ahead and replace it with a proper activity. Now the next enhancement is around the launch button. So if I select an application, click publish. Once I check in my files and click publish button, now I get a launch button right over here to launch an application without having to go to Work Center. So I can just launch the application right from here. So those were the enhancements on App Builder side. Then the next enhancement is on the Page Builder module. So if I go to Page Builder module, as you might remember, we had introduced Modern Work Center widget in Page Builder module in the previous release. So if I add Modern Work Center, you can configure which views would be visible. So I can say, show me task view, process view, and maybe one of my custom views like expense report task. Now, right now, the enhancement has been around open eForm in the same browser tab. By default, it opens in a new tab over in your browser window. So I'm going to keep the default behavior initially. This is how it has been working till now. So I'm going to go ahead and say click add. I'm going to save this. And if I do a preview, if I open any task, as you can see, it opens in a new tab. Similarly, if I go to processes and if I open the report view, it opens in a new tab. Same goes for custom views as well. So if I open it, it opens in a new tab in this case. Now there was a requirement for some of the customers that can it open in the same place, and once the form has been submitted, take me back to task list. So what we have done is we have provided that as a feature. So if you go to build pages, now you see there is a new configuration which says open eForm in the same browser tab. So if you turn this on, click save and click save over here on the page, and let's preview it again. Now when I click on this open link, it opens it within the same browser tab over here. You can perform the work, and once you have completed your task or cancelled the task, it takes you back to the task list or the process list right within the same tab. The same experience has been added to process and expense report as well. Now that was more in terms of modern work center. A similar setting has been added to the classic work center, which was a more grid based view. Over there, the same setting is available as well to open eForm in the same tab. So those were some of the minor enhancements which have been added as part of 8.0 software update 2 release. Thanks a lot for your time.